Hello students! For today's video, we are going to answer a few questions coming from Letter B book. Okay, without further ado, let's jump to the video! Now, let's have the first question. The Song of Hiawatha, an American Indian epic, tells of the origin of the Indian maize. What function does this myth have? Letter A, explanation. Letter B, validation justification. Letter C, description. Letter D, inspiration. Now, can you guess what's the answer? Yes, you're right. Letter A, explanation.
The Song of Hiawatha is about the origins of Hiawatha and his dumb love for the Kuta maiden Minnehaha. But it is also much more. It is an accounting of the origins of all the Native American tribes, based on the legends and tales but now brought coherently together in one place and in one narrative.
Now, let's proceed to the next question. According to a Greek writer, certain gods were originally great people venerated because of their benefaction to mankind. What philosophy in the study of myth tells us this? Letter A, Romanticism. Letter B, Euhemerism. Letter C, Rationalism. And letter D, Structuralism. Now, what's the answer? Very good. The answer is letter B, Euhemerism.
Euhemerism, named after Euhemerus, a Greek writer who flourished about 300 BCE, according to which certain gods were originally great people venerated because of their benefactions to humankind. Euhemerism is also defined as the theory of Greek writers Euhemerus that Greek gods were created from real stories about human and historical events.
Next question. Which are the simplest forms of folklore? There is not much plot involved, but they carry a lot of rhythm. Events follow each other logically in a pattern of cadence and repetition. Letter A, cumulative tales. Letter B, drolls. Letter C, romances. And letter D, realistic tales. Now, can you guess what's the answer? Yes, you're right. The answer is letter A, cumulative tales.
Cumulative tales are the simplest of all. There is not much plot involved. They carry a lot of rhythm. Events follow each other logically in a patterns of cadence and repetition.
Next question. Many myths tell ritual and cultic customs. In ancient Mesopotamia, the creation epic Enuma Elish, which was read each New Year at Babylon, celebrated the progress of the cosmos from initial anarchy to government by the kingship of Marduk. Hence, the myth functions as blank of the authority of earthly rulers and the earthly monarchy in general. Letter A, explanation. Letter B, justification validation. Letter C, description. And letter D, inspiration. Now, can you guess what's the answer? Very good. Letter B, validation justification.
Many myths explain ritual and cultic customs. According to myths from the island of Seram in Indonesia, in the beginning, life was not complete or not yet human. Vegetation and animals did not exist, and there was neither death or sexuality. In a mysterious manner, Hainuweli, a girl with extraordinary gift bestowing powers, appeared. The people killed her at the end of their great animal celebration, and her dismembered body was planted in the earth. Among the species that sprang up after this act of planting were tubers, the staple diet of the people telling the myth. With a certain circularity frequent in mythology, the myth validates the very cultic celebration mentioned in the myth. The cult can be understood as a commemoration of those first events. Hence, the myth can be said to validate life itself together with the cultic celebration.
Next question. The primitive deity Aphrodite represents blank. Letter A, the magical function of procreation. Letter B, physical beauty and grace. Letter C, intelligence, wit, and sex. Letter D, woman of purity of life and mind. What's the answer? Very good. Letter A, the magical function of procreation.
Aphrodite, an ancient Greek goddess of sexual and love and beauty, identified with Venus by the Romans. She was also known primarily as the goddess of love and fertility, and even occasionally presided over marriage.
Now let's proceed to the next question. The myths of the Greek reflects blank. Letter A, that humans are the center of the universe. Letter B, that humans and God live alike. Letter C, a view of the universe that acknowledges the mystery of the beauty and humanity. Letter D, a less strange and frightening magic than the myths of other ancient civilizations. What's the answer? Yes, that's right. Letter A, that humans are the center of the universe.
Aristotle, who lived from 384 to 322 BC, believed that Earth was round. He thought Earth was the center of the universe and that sun, moon, planets, and all the fixed stars revolved around it. Aristotle's ideas were widely accepted by the Greek of his time.
Next question. When Oedipus learns the incredible truth about his mother and father, he puts out his own eyes and leaves his city to wander and eventually die. This shows blank. Letter A, regret and repentance to a wrong decision. Letter B, physical manifestation of the limitation of man. Letter C, fate's control over humans' lives. Letter D, acceptance of wrongdoing and self-punishment. What's the answer? Very good. Letter B, physical manifestation of limitation of man.
At the end, Oedipus physically becomes what he had metaphorically been throughout the play, blind. As a result, Oedipus' Rex demonstrate how blindness is a choice, not a physical disability, as even a person who can physically see can still act ignorant towards their actions and outcomes of their faith.
And now for the last question. The presence of these three divinities, Clotho, Lachesis, and Atropos, in Greek myth symbolizes blank. Letter A, destiny which cannot be controlled by anyone. Letter B, power of immortals over mortals. Letter C, mortals' fate which depends on the gods. Letter D, immortals that play a great part in mortals' life. Can you guess what's the answer? Yes, you're right. Letter A, destiny which cannot be controlled by anyone.
The Moirai or Moirae were the three goddesses of fate who personified the inescapable destiny of man. They assigned to every person his or her fate or share in the scheme of things. Their names mean parts, share, or allotted portion. Clotho, the spinner who spun the thread of life. Lachesis, the apportioner of lots, who measured it. And Atropos, she who cannot be turned, who cut it short. Zeus Moiragetes, the god of fate, was their leader. And now, before I end this video, let me share to you the multiple choice test taking tips and strategies.
That's all for today's video. I hope you learned something today. See you on the next review. Bye!